Hey, what's good, everybody? This is EJ,
It's your boy Kenny.
And it's Francis.
and this is the Banter 3FC podcast. We're three friends that love the game and love talking all things football. But first, want to let y'all know we are on YouTube. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment all of our stuff on YouTube. Find us on there. We are the Banter 3FC podcast, or the Banter 3FC. Yeah. So show us love. Let's get into it. All right. So this weekend has come and gone after the long international break, and it was an interesting bunch of results. So we're going to start today's show. We're going to talk through the results, and then we're going to give a preview of what's to come in the coming week and the upcoming weekend. So let's get into it. Who was the first game of the weekend?
EJ, can I make an announcement here? First of all, we have an animation intro now. That deserves a shout out. We are officially official. We're going to play our intro for this very episode. We're official. Banter 3FC, we're here.
Look at how happy he is.
Today,
This is the first time he's been happy on this podcast.
Don't worry.
Look at him cheesing, bro.
it's been
Don't worry.
Look at him cheesing, bro. He even wore the jersey.
I only wear jerseys when we win. And I've been boycotting Manchester United jerseys for a while. I've told myself I'm not buying any more jerseys until I see some good results, consistency year to year. So we'll see. I might get one this year. We'll see. But yeah, was it us that went first?
Yeah, you guys play first.
Yeah,
I knew that. 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
Let's go over my game. So, one thing I've been telling you guys is we needed to capitalize and score goals. That's been a common theme this entire season. When we score, the game changes. When we don't take those chances, we get punished. This game started off from watching the first half. Pretty say even match. We were playing very well. There were times where we're leaving a little bit open, not to my liking, but overall, I thought we were giving them a pretty even match. Brentford is not an easy team. They come out, usually score very early, so they're a team we really have to watch out for. So I thought we really did a good job of holding them. They didn't score until extra time and additional time at half. We all saw the delayed injury and him coming off. That definitely played a role. Obviously, a player that, an aerial threat, both offensively and defensively. So not having him in there for that final corner, it is what it is. They score, but we showed character. Literally within the first 10 minutes, say it with me, Garnacho. He was balling. I feel like every time he touched the ball, he went at the defense and he created something. So it was lovely to see him, and that finish was spectacular. I love that Rashford crossed the ball, which is a rare sight, and one-time finish volley, just a beautiful, beautiful goal. And then a second goal, class from Bruno Fernandes. He had a great game as well. He was sitting in those pockets, dictating the game a lot of times. And the second goal came from us pressing. We were very organized. In the first half, I did see some times where we were pressing well, but the Brentford was still breaking us down a little bit. But I like that we stuck to it, and you see, once we're organized, we have Rasmus who knows what he's doing up there. Bruno kind of complimenting him, depending on which side it was, Garnacho or Rashford squeezing, and that's how we got our second goal. Brentford just kicked the ball away. We came right back. Bruno with a fantastic one-touch to Rasmus. Rasmus with a beautiful finish, chipper over the goalie. So these are things that I want to see progressing. I love that we fought. We came back from 1-0 against Brentford. And, we showed fight. I just want to see us continue this type of run. Get some of our other, again, Mano was out, get him back as well. Speedy recovery to the star boy there. But yeah, lovely game. I love the fight that we showed. We showed character. And let's give some props to ETH, right? You go down half 1-0, your halftime speech with the pressure that's on, it has to be legit. And you see how we came out. So you knew he got to the players and they produced. So a good result. I want to see us build on it.
Keep it short and concise. My point of view, overall, I feel like you guys definitely did play pretty good game. Obviously, the lit situation, him getting injured, and then Brentford scoring right away is just kind of bad luck. But it's good to see that you guys were able to kind of recover from that and take that lead. Like I mentioned earlier in the weekend, this was a must-win game. Because if you guys did not win this game, heads would have had to roll. Straight up. But for you guys, it's good for you guys that you guys got it done. It's not gonna, not necessarily lessen the burden you guys have, just kind of like calm the talking down just a smidge, give you guys like an extra week or two and whatnot. But you got it done. Now you just gotta kind of start building on it. Obviously, the ETH chat is gonna continue regardless. Let's see now, if you guys can build consistency really on this. I'm gonna go from there.
First things first. Starboy is reserved for Saka.
No.
Don't call him Starboy. That's first and foremost.
First of all, any young player is called. I've called Garnacho Starboy since 2 seasons ago. So stop.
Yeah, remove those nicknames from those players. Thank
Never.
you very much. That's first and foremost. Secondly, United played very well. They had a good game, but the only thing. So let me go through it first. Rasmus. Great hold-up play. He did what he had to do. Great passing, great pressing, amazing finish. Mm-hmm. Bruno, that's a world-class assist. That's what he does. He's one of those players that takes those high-risk types of things. And sometimes it comes off. When it comes off, it looks really great. So credit to him for that. Casemiro had a really good game. And I think Eriksen played really well too. So, and I noticed there were some tactical changes where Lissandro ended up playing left back, Johnny Evans in center back, De Ligt, and then Casemiro and Eriksen in the midfield. But Kenny, you said something, and I'm not going to let you get away with it. At halftime, Erik ten Hag you're giving him credit for doing whatever he did and saying that he's the reason why they ended up coming out strong and doing what they had to do in the second half, right? I feel like, go ahead, say what you gotta say.
I would, and I knew this was coming from you, and all that mattered in that second half, and even the whole game, intensity. That's the word I would use, intensity. It wasn't about tactics. We were doing the same thing. There wasn't a shift tactically. We just played more intense. We scored the goal, and we kept the pressure on.
So I just disagree with that because I feel like you're going to give him the credit when you guys win and things go right, but when things go wrong and it looks bad, you're blaming the players more than the coach.
That's not true at all. How did I give him the credit?
You just said at halftime he came.
I said
he said whatever, and he spurred the second half energy to come out. That's what
he has no. I said he had to have been given a legit speech, obviously, because we came out on fire. But that's up to the players. They can still come out fly if they don't rock with the coach. We've seen that. If they don't care, they're not going to care. It's about players having the intensity of saying, wow, this guy's really, you know what, and going out there and delivering. That's still the players.
And that's still the impact of the manager. That's the direct impact of the manager. You just said
And
the
it's up to
manager
the
says
players to
something
perform.
to light the fire under the players to go do what they got to do, right? So,
Right. But it's still the players
yeah.
that have to do it at the end of the day.
No. That's when I get that, but it's still the coach that needs to do the things to get the tune out of the players. So for me, the only question that I really have, and I like, and I kind of posed this question after the result at Villa. You have talked to me numerous times about how it's about injuries. You have players playing that shouldn't be playing, like Johnny Evans. Casemiro doesn't have the legs. Eriksson doesn't have the legs, et cetera, et cetera. So in this game, your midfield wasn't open again.
It was.
It
From
wasn't.
rewatching it, it wasn't as open, but it was still open.
No, but that's the thing. There are times in which your press is beaten, right? That happens. But like prior to the Villa game, like your midfield is literally wide open. There are teams that are just literally running through the entire game. It happens time to time, even against Arsenal. Like that happens. Teams will beat our press. They'll get through us. That doesn't mean we're open, but it happens. And for me, I'm gonna ask the question again. What is happening now that the midfield isn't wide open? And why can't this be a consistent thing? Because before it was, we're blaming the players. We don't have the right players, injuries, etc. But it's like those same players that were a liability, like Johnny Evans, Casemiro, Eriksson, they're playing, and tactically the setup was correct. So for me, again, that's where my issue with Ten Hag is. The tactical side of things, of where it's not happening on a consistent basis of a blueprint and all that stuff we talked about last time. But it seems that it has continued from last week to this week, or sorry, not last week, but prior to the international break till now. So I'm just hoping and looking
I
for
guarantee,
this to be for this to be a consistent thing.
and I guarantee you it won't be.
And so
It's
whose fault is that?
how do I phrase this question? Do you think Eric Ten Hag, would you say he's a successful coach? His history and everything, has he been a successful coach, manager?
From Ajax days.
Yeah. Do you think he sees something that works and he says, don't set up this way? I'm asking a question. Do you think he sees, wow, this is really, we're not open, we're doing what we need to do. Guys, next game, be open. Don't set up this way.
But that's the thing. If it's the blueprint of your team, that comes from the coach. That all of that comes from the coach, Kenny. Like I feel like you guys
If he does it,
the
if he,
importance of the tactical side of what a coach does and
but
how
if
he
he's,
sets the team.
that is perfectly fine. But if he's doing it and it's working, and again, I always go back to that first season. Why do you think he's all of a sudden in training like, okay, let's do something else? Why wouldn't you think why the players need to now go in and implement what he's saying
So then if the
more
players aren't
consistently?
so if the players aren't doing what he's saying, whose fault is that?
The players.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question, Kenny. You have a job and you're a manager at your company, correct?
Sure.
It's a yes or no question. Are you a manager at your company?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. As a manager, you have employees that work under you, right?
I don't, but
No, but I'm saying in a normal manager
Yeah.
setup, yes. So if you hire your employees and they're your employees and they work for your company, etc., if you give them goals and initiatives of what they need to do on a quarterly basis or a yearly basis and they don't perform, whose fault is that?
The employee.
No, Kenny,
Francis,
no,
that
no,
was
no, no, no,
bad.
no. No, no,
That's
hold on.
That
not
No,
was
no,
how
no.
we're
bad.
gonna examine
That
somebody's.
was
No,
bad.
hold on. No, because you're not listening. Because you're not listening.
No, it's
Because
not me.
when the CEO comes down and he starts saying, "Yo, you guys aren't hitting these numbers," who is he gonna look at? Who is the CEO going to look at? Is he gonna look at the employees or is he gonna look at the manager?
Yeah, he'll look at the manager, but his employees' performance are depending on his job. What is he supposed to
Okay,
do?
okay, okay, okay. Then, if that's what it is, right? If you hired these employees and they're not performing, whose fault is that? You hired them. The CEO
If
isn't going to come down and look at the employees. They're going to look at the person that's managing these employees and who hired them.
and
Correct
that's
or incorrect?
fine. That's fine. But there's so many employees that are just they're very good at interviews and they come in and then they're just trash. That happens all the time.
And so you need to fire them. That's on the manager.
So what do you want ETH to do?
Listen, he can't fire all of them, but my boy, you hired a whole 11 and they're not doing for a year. They haven't been doing what you've been instructing them to do. So whose fault
Because
is
they've
that?
been out.
You can't
They've
you
been
can't
out.
keep It's not because of the injuries, my boy. Just because they're
It
injured
is.
doesn't mean that
How do you
you
how do you
remove
rate performance? How do you rate
you
performance of players that aren't playing? You've done this before with Jadon Sancho. Oh, he's not been the guy hasn't been playing. How do you rate somebody's performance when they don't play?
you remove too much of the responsibility from Ten Hag. That's
And
what
you
bothers
don't
you.
blame your players enough.
No.
Oh,
Listen,
here we go. Wow.
I will
listen.
get to it though.
No. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. When it's a lack of effort or mistakes, that's the players. Like if you lose a game because you made mistakes, that's the player's fault, right? But the setup and being constantly broken down a certain way and not having a consistent plan, that's the coach. That will always be the coach. The players will make mistakes. Like Saliba getting that red
But
card,
can't
he made a
but can't
mistake. That's his
but can a
fault.
mistake be a player not being in the right position that the coach has set him up to be?
Kenny, come on.
What do you mean? That is a mistake.
Come on, Kenny. Kenny, come on.
I don't understand how you can say that a manager that knows what he's doing is then saying, "Okay, let's not set up this way. It's worked, so let's not set up this way." That he from what you're telling me, Eric Ten Hag during training sessions is like, "This is working, so no, Casemiro, go left, go right, and just leave the midfield open." It doesn't make any
If
sense.
the players aren't following your tactical instructions, you shouldn't play them, or you shouldn't have hired them to begin with. All that responsibility falls on the manager. That's all I'm trying to
Okay,
say.
so now
That's all I'm
that's
trying to say.
fine. But who else do you want to bring up?
You remove too much of the responsibility from the manager.
You expect too much. Eric Ten Hag isn't scoring goals or defending last time I checked. So players
Again,
need to perform.
listen, again. I'm going to say the same thing that I said the last episode. Points and results, that has nothing to do with your blueprint and what you do on a game-to-game basis. Because how good your players are, and if they score or if they make mistakes or whatever, that happens. But every single game, There may be tweaks, there may be subtle changes depending on your opponent, but there should be a consistency of what you are looking at from a week to week basis. And that's where the issue lies. And I want listen, he's done it against Villa and he did it again against Brentford. I want to see that continue. That's all I'm looking for.
I hope so as well. I hope the players will be consistent in the way they perform.
It's all about the blueprint. But yeah.
Who's next?
Arsenal.
Yep, Arsenal. So
Blueprint. I want to touch on y'all blueprint.
all right. So we lost against Bournemouth away 2-0. Another red card. This time it happened really, really early in the game. I think we played 65 minutes or
The red
60
card was at the 30th. Oh, you
Yeah,
saying
so
B?
60,
Gotcha.
yeah. So left.
30th
So we
minute.
played So we played 60. We played an hour, with 10 men, and it's another mistake that we've made on our end, and it can't keep happening. We can't keep expecting to shoot ourselves in the foot, and then think that we're gonna win the title at the end of the year. So, for me, it happened against Brentford, it happened against City, and it happened again against Bournemouth. The teams that want to win, they don't make these mistakes. So this is what we have to improve on. So that's my viewpoint on that side of it, right? The other things that I had I had a slight concern about the lineup going into it. And a lot of it is like, we talk about it like hindsight, but it's like going into it, you look at it, you just hope for the best, but hindsight, you think about what could have been done differently, right? And I think for me, the thing that bothered me a little bit was our midfield. It was three of the same type of players, right? We don't have Odegaard right now, and that's an issue. That's one issue by itself, right? And we've been trying to make up for that by putting Trossard in the midfield to be a creative type of player, to play off of Havertz and do his thing, right? This game, Martinelli had some injury stuff, so he couldn't start. So we put Trossard on the left, and we started with Rice, Partey, and Marino in the midfield. For me, looking back on it, that's too much change, because you also add in, we put Sterling on the right, we put Trossard, we took him out of the midfield where he's been playing for a good portion of the season, put him on the wing. Saka's not playing, Martinelli's not playing, Marino's still trying to get used to the team, you put him in, and it's like a lot of change. You get what I'm saying? Like, I like to have rotation, but I don't like there to be over rotation or too much rotation, if that makes sense. And I think that was an issue for us, because could we have done something different and maybe, put Trossard on the wing, but maybe start Ethan Nwaneri to see if we could have like a more creative player in the middle of the field, because prior to the red card, I wouldn't say that we looked comfortable, and things just got worse after the red card, because there wasn't any like creativity, and ultimately that was our downfall. Lack of creativity, shooting ourselves in the foot, and it led to our demise. So we have to find a way to bounce back on Tuesday against Shakhtar, and then on Sunday against Liverpool. But yeah, I do want to say this though. Before Sterling came off, I think he did have a very a good start, because I felt like he was being pretty direct, going like every time we passed him the ball, he looked like he was gonna go at the defenders and try to do something dangerous, but he ended up getting taken off because of the red card and shifting it and stuff like that. So it is what it is. So we move on to next week, dressed in black, because it was just a bad result, bad performance. So we move.
Francis, please go ahead.
You know, I originally I told myself coming on to today's episode, I was gonna I was debating on if I was gonna take pity on you guys because it was a tough loss, right? And then I happened to have seen a stat just recently. Yes, I understand this was a one-off situation, right? This Saliba red card one-off situation. Do you guys know this is the 18th red card under Mikel Arteta for Arsenal? 1-8, 18. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. You're gonna disagree with me. This is in the fabric and DNA of Arsenal. It really, and like I said, I understand it's a one-off. I get it, right? It's not like no violent conduct stuff, but it's just in your DNA. And like you said, this ultimately cost you guys, and you guys were not able to stave off the situation that you guys put yourselves into, unfortunately. Their set piece corner goal, great passes of play from them, and then their second goal was a penalty, unfortunately, but 2-0. Oh, but before I even get there, Martinelli, you had a chance, my boy. You had a chance to score that goal, which you really should have put away. That would have kind of changed the whole landscape of that. Because I think at that point, you guys would have been up 1-0, I think.
Yeah, because I think that was
And
like
then
in the
you-
65th, close to 70th minute. Because if he scores that, we just sit back
you
and
guys
defend, and we
sit
just
back and defend,
go
exactly.
home. Yeah.
Exactly. But, yeah. And unfortunately, because of the Saliba red card, we didn't get a chance to really gauge or see Sterling play often, so I can't really comment on him. But, yeah, overall, tough loss for you guys, especially how Man City was definitely able to pull off another magic trick and end up winning against Wolves right at the last minute again.
It was
You guys
written.
gonna,
It was written.
you guys are gonna have to eat this one, but this is like, you know how usually you'll get one or two kind of freebies. You already killed off one of them early in the year. Now it's
What do you mean by freebies?
I would say freebies, but like one or two games where like you will lose, but one of your competitors for the title challenging competitors would also drop points later in the year or whatnot. You already blew one of them, so it's like now you have a very.
I say two, Francis. I think they've.
Two,
that,
right?
Yeah, the draw.
Yeah,
I'll say
margin
1.5.
of error-
1.5.
Yeah, your margin of error is now extremely small. Your margin of error is not extremely small. So let's just see what y'all can do. Simple as that.
I have a counter to that one statement. I get what you're saying about the margin of error thing, but I want to remind you guys, we have had one of the hardest starts to the Prem this season with having to play Villa away, Tottenham away, City away, all within the first like 5-6 games of the season. So, yes, there have been results where we have, dropped points, but winning away at Villa and winning away at Tottenham, getting a draw at City gets the hard fixtures out of the way early with good results. But I'm hoping that we could balance it out at the end of the season and counteract the drop points over the past few games. But I get what you're saying, though.
Go ahead, Kenny.
Yeah, I'll make this quick. Your statement on Raheem Sterling, I'm not sure what you were watching that you said that he was playing well, or I'm
said
being
he
serious.
I said he looked at it. Like every time he got the ball, he looked like he was trying to do something. He looked dangerous in the very if you go back and watch, like, forget like extended highlights or whatever, like go back and actually watch the first 30 minutes of the game. He got the
I
ball
watched
and
the
he would
game.
literally and he would dribble into the box, try to get a shot or a cross or something. I'm saying it was disappointing that he got the red card and then he wasn't able to like play the full game to show the full. You get what I'm saying? But from what I saw in the beginning, it looked promising for me at least.
Oh, I didn't see anything promising, but that's neither here nor there. Saliba, red card. They call him a Rolls Royce. As of late, he's looking like my Honda Civic. I don't know what's wrong with him. That
He
was
wrote
a
that down and been waiting to use it since Saturday.
no. He's
Dodge Caravan.
he's been looking a little shaky, and the culmination to make that type of play. There's just something that we haven't seen from him. He's usually I would expect that more from Gabriel because he's the more like brute force, aggressive type, where Saliba is the more silky, smooth, like under control type of defender. But yeah, even over the international break, like you said, we talked about it. Even though it was a slip, it's just certain mistakes that I haven't seen from him. So
So what other mistakes? Just so I can make sure.
the 1v1, against Southampton, I thought he could have closed that.
You know that deflected off his foot and went in the goal.
Yeah,
Right?
but he should have closed the
Okay.
gap a lot sooner. And then I'm talking about the tackle he made over the international break for France that led to Belgium's penalty.
I think the mistake is 100% the this past weekend. 100%. That's on Saliba. There's no excuse. There's no nothing. He's fast enough and strong enough to get back and cover himself where he doesn't have to do that. But the international game, bro, he slipped. I'm not reading too much into that one. And then the Southampton one, like I think I get what you're saying, but even Van Dijk gets caught on a counterattack and he gets beat. But like for me, Saliba deflect like it's not like the dude just destroyed him and whatever. He got
That's
a foot
fine.
to it and it went to the goal. So,
All we're saying is we're now talking about 3 different instances where we never talked about anything. So just something to watch out for. I'm not saying he's lost there or whatever, but it's just mistakes that he hasn't been making. Your defense in general hasn't been making. So, like you said, mistakes like this, making those types of lapses. I call it lapse in judgment. That can really, really hurt you. Bournemouth is not a team that's easy to beat, regardless. And as soon as you got that red card, as I said at halftime, if they score first, meaning Bournemouth, they're going to go out and win. If you guys score first, which was the Martinelli chance, I thought you guys could have pulled out at least a draw. So tough game for you guys. Let's see if you bounce back. Now not having Saliba against Liverpool. Did they say if it's going to be 2 or 3 games? Is it 2?
no, it's just gonna be one, because it's not like This is why I don't really agree with that narrative Francis trying to like create. It wasn't like a violent conduct thing where he slapped somebody.
He said that.
It's
Thank
Huh?
you.
He said that.
No. I'm saying this overall narrative. I'm not saying that one specific incident. I'm saying the overall narrative. He got the red card, and they're just going to suspend him for that. The next upcoming FA game, which is going to be the Prem, because if they did
18
have like
red
a
cards
Carabao-
is not. It's not. Wait, hold on. You
I
saying
got a
I'm
stat for. I have a stat for you as well. So let's make sure we get to the next.
Let's
segment.
have a
for-
stat off.
Yeah.
That's neither here nor there. But I did want to point out Declan Rice in the interview. It's rare that, and I think it comes from Mikel Arteta. He doesn't really blame you guys for anything. He always blames the refs or something else. And it was rare. It was a breath of fresh air seeing Declan Rice being like, we need to stop shooting ourselves in the foot, essentially. We need to, yes, we need to stop making these silly, let me finish. It comes from him. He does not blame or call out players for whatever. Anything that happens against Arsenal, it's never Arsenal's fault. It's, the ref, they pick and choose when they want to give players yellows for kicking the ball. Just stop kicking the ball, so they don't have to pick and choose. How about that?
I don't think you watch enough of his interviews to make that statement.
Okay,
Because
that's fine. From what I've
yeah,
seen, he's always ranting, and coming from you, you guys always want to blame everybody else but yourselves. Just don't kick the ball away. If you do, if you
no,
they pick and
I'm
choose,
not gonna
don't pick
lie
the
to
ball
you,
away.
Kenny. What you're saying, like I get what you're saying to a certain extent, right? This is the first time that we've gotten a red card where I have to hold my hands up and say, you know what? That's on us. That there's nobody to blame. Don't talk to anybody. Just
That's the
don't.
problem. That's the
Just don't.
first
Just
time.
no. But and here's the reason why I say that. Here's the reason why I say that. The very first red card we got with the Declan Rice thing, you guys remember the first thing that I said was, if you're gonna give a card for that, that's fine, but make sure you're consistent with it. And they have not been consistent with it, because that's the same game. João Pedro booted the ball 50 yards. There was nothing. There was absolutely nothing, right? That's the first instance. The second one, Leandro Trossard. You guys don't want to hear it, and that's fine. I sent you guys the video. The whistle and the kicking of the ball came literally. It wasn't even a full half second. I have sympathy for that. I don't. You
so
can make
sorry.
you can make that face. Or that's fine.
EJ, come
No,
on.
Shame.
no. It's listen,
Enough.
listen. Yo, listen. You can have your view, and that's fine. I sent y'all the recording. You hear the whistle, and you see when he's already in the act of kicking the ball before the whistle is blown. So, if y'all don't want to see it, that's okay. But I don't think that deserves a second yellow for a send off. He got it,
Take off
but
your
now,
arch-
but
arch-
now, but now, but now we have to literally just be at this point where it's like we can't give them anything. We can't give them a reason, because if they get the reason, they've shown they will always do it. So don't even give them the opportunity. That's the viewpoint that I'm at now. The red card from this weekend, it's Saliba's fault. No, I more so blame Trossard because that's a stupid back pass. You don't have to. I don't know what that was. He stitched him up. Saliba made a mistake. He got a red card. It is what it is.
Wow.
My issue with the other stuff of kicking the ball, I always say to you guys, it's the consistency. If they're gonna do it, it's okay. Just be consistent. And they've shown
That's
that they have not
across.
been consistent.
That's across everything. Whatever tackles, refs are going to be inconsistent. Just don't do it. That's something you control. Don't do it. Don't do it. But regardless, that's my. I liked that Declan just owned up to it. You guys have to stop giving yourselves opportunities to mess up. Figure it out. I think you guys will be straight. I do see City. City haven't looked the best. They're gonna drop points. You have a big game coming up against Liverpool. We'll see how you guys do.
All right. The last game of the weekend, I think it was the Super Sunday matchup, right? Game of the weekend. Liverpool
11:30.
versus Chelsea. Sunday afternoon. Talk to me, Francis.
You know, obviously, Chelsea, Liverpool, kind of two different situations between the two teams. Two new incoming managers. Liverpool title contenders and whatnot. Chelsea, just trying to get ourselves back to the top four and whatnot. Like I said originally, I wasn't necessarily more mad, but I was really just more annoyed. Because watching that game, this Liverpool team can definitely be beaten. And if you watch the game for basically the entire first half, and majority of the game itself, Chelsea were the more dominant team. Especially the midfield, Lavia and Caicedo, they played really, really good games. It's just Liverpool, when they had their chances, they capitalized. Starting off, Levi Colwell, that challenge for the penalty was just so ridiculous to me. So ridiculous.
Why he do this? Like, there's no way.
As if he didn't know. As if he didn't know. And he's like, oh, I'm like, come on, bro. That was so ridiculous. I'm literally at that time. Literally, I think it was that was maybe about 25 minutes or so have been played. We were literally controlled. You could tell that Liverpool was uncomfortable in the beginning of the game. Like, we just kind of soaked in everything and we're just controlling the whole passage of play and everything in the game. So penalty happens. Mo Salah, of course. I think they said he scored now 8 times against Chelsea. Congratulations, thank you, Mo Salah.
Welcome to the
so
club.
That happens. Yeah. So Mo Salah scored that. We're still doing well. Sancho, in the beginning of that first half, I thought Sancho was actually pretty well. I thought Nani and Sancho were both really well. Really direct and whatnot. Sancho did kind of fall off a little bit in my perspective, and that's why I think he got subbed up for Neto, which I'm not mad at all, because Neto came in and he was
Neto was very direct.
Neto came in, he was really putting in the shits for sure. So we're down 1-0 coming into the second half, and then this has just been a thing that I don't know what, but it's definitely been something that Maresca has installed in us. When we come up in the second half, you can see the urgency. This is, I think, 4 or 5 games now, this season alone. We come out in the second half within 10 minutes. The first 10 minutes, we're scoring a goal. Nico Jackson, thankfully, is onside, made a great run, timed it perfectly, and got that goal. And it was a good finish, too, on the near post, near side of the goalkeeper. So a good finish. I'm very happy to see he finished that. But the second goal, which I should have started by this. This is a big game also. Reece James' first action all year. And I personally did not want him to start because I liked how things were, but obviously with the suspension of Cucurella and Fofana, I understood. I understood why it had to happen like that. Although Reece James did overall, he came in and he seemed as if he'd been playing for some time. Like, he didn't really have too much rust up until that goal, because if you look at the line, he's the only. I don't know if he's trying to play like an offside.
He tried to play him off. Yeah,
he's the only person who's off, and just allowed Curtis Jones to slide right in the middle, and then score a second goal. Yeah, and it's just overall, we really this is a winnable game. That's why I'm annoyed. I mean, yeah, I would have taken a draw for sure. And Nkunku had a great chance at the very end to score to tie the game, but I'm just really annoyed. I mean, we lost, but it's just very annoying. It's just annoying. We definitely should have got something out of that game. They're a beatable team.
Yeah, I'll go real quick. A lot of the points you made I had written down. Literally, I put Levi Colwill with question marks. Just like, what were you thinking? Even prior to that, he was a little clumsy against Salah. I don't know if you remember that play. Mm-hmm. I'm like, it was kind of, touchy-feely. It's like it wasn't a pen, because Salah kind of sold it a little bit, but it was still kind of clumsy. And then to do that maybe 5 minutes later, it's like, what are you thinking? But it was a very high-intensity game. My key takeaway from this game was that Chelsea are definitely growing up in front of our eyes. One, we've said this, I'm not sure if we've been able to say it, throughout this podcast, but in previous years, when Chelsea concedes first, they tend to just fold. Like, if you guys give up a goal, you're probably giving up a second goal, right? But this game, what I saw was you were playing well, you gave up the goal, but you kind of locked in, came together, and kept playing.
All right, bet.
Yeah,
bet.
Rather than, dang, and then just, But so I think the key takeaway here is Chelsea's definitely growing up in front of our eyes. They're getting a lot more mature. They have players that are more comfortable. Caicedo, with the goal, he made that pass, and he's been playing very well. I liked what I saw from Lavia. I'm not sure why he took them off. I thought that was a little bit early.
Lavia, he's been hurt, so he's trying to
get
back into fitness. So I understand the change.
Yeah, and with Reece James, obviously, yeah, I wasn't expecting him to start, but him going off definitely makes sense as well. But yeah, I think it was a game where you say, hey, you guys didn't play bad. You just had two um, lapses of judgment again um, from a quality team. They're gonna bury those chances if you give it to them. So yeah, it was a really good game, high intensity. It could have gone either way, but yeah, my key takeaway was wow, Chelsea's really grown up.
And I just want to add something. Also, Cole Palmer, not really the best game that he really had. He really didn't
I'm so
do much,
Non-existent.
proud
but
of
he
you.
had.
I didn't see him at all. Yeah, I didn't
I
see
am
him at
so
all.
proud of you.
No,
It's on you. It's on you. Nico. Listen, yeah, I'm gonna call it. He had one or two chances where there was an opportunity where I thought he was gonna put that ball in the corner. Oh, that would have been beautiful, but
very
not
has
really one of his
it's.
best
You
games.
know what I think it was? So I'll say this. I think Cole Palmer for me. I think it was a combination of two things. I think it was a combination of one. I think Liverpool did a very good job of taking him out of the game. And I think a byproduct of that allowed Lavia and Caicedo to play better and show their strengths, right? Because every single time that Cole Palmer got the ball, they squeezed every single time.
Yeah,
So I think with
yeah,
that, he became to be a little more hesitant in his decision making, and he wasn't allowed to do what Cole Palmer usually does. So that for me, I think that was a part of it. But like this is a big game. Like you guys always say, it's a big game. You're a big player. You got to step up. So I was expecting
yeah,
to
for
see
sure.
him do something big that game, but he didn't end up doing it. A guy that I want to say this, I was not familiar with his game being at this level. Lavia, that boy, nice. There was some
Yes,
turns in the middle of the park that I saw him doing, some little technique to get out of tight situations. I was like, oh, I knew you were good. I knew you came from Man City. You went to Southampton because you wanted to play, but I didn't know he was like that. If you could keep him healthy, you pair him up with Caicedo, because Caicedo's been looking really good. That could be your starting
thank
midfield
you.
with Cole Palmer. No, I'm gonna give him the credit. Last year he wasn't playing well to the very end of the season. He started to get it together. This year he's playing well. You pair them boys together, Enzo, he might be having to come off of the bench because Lavia brings something different. He brings like that ball carrying athleticism and technique. If like you get what I'm saying, he brings that type of dynamic to the team. Because I always think it's important for a midfield to have three different types of players. You need to have a 10 or a creator, which is Cole Palmer. You need to have an enforcer, an athletic enforcer like
That's a lot.
Caicedo,
Yeah,
and then
I
a
would say
box to
Lavia.
box kind of threat. And I think I think Lavia and Caicedo could do both, but I
Yeah,
more so see Lavia being the more technical box to box,
Like a
dribbling, getting out
McTominay.
of. Stop. You're about to
Yeah,
piss
you were
me
about
off.
to agree with me. You were just about to agree with me too.
Listen, listen. No, no. What it was,
continue.
it wasn't that I was gonna agree with you. I was gonna cuss, but I'm trying to be better, so I bit my tongue just then, because you know exactly what I
Yo,
was gonna say to you just then.
You,
Yeah,
you.
exactly. Yeah.
shout out
Another
Scotty,
player.
man.
No, stop. Anyways, another person I want to give a shout out to is Nicholas Jackson. He's another player that's growing up in front of our eyes. Last year, that boy, even though he got them 14, 15 goals, he missed another 14, 15 that he could have scored. So I want to definitely shout out to him. His finishing has improved. He's always had all of the qualities of a really good striker. Um, but there was just that final product that was missing. He's starting to like get that together, which is good. So definitely want to give him his kudos. One thing I want to say about Liverpool, though, for me personally, I was very intrigued to watch this game to see how they would do, because in my personal opinion, this entire season they haven't played anybody. They've gotten results, they've done what they had to do. You can only beat what's in front of you. But this was the game where I was like, I need to tune in and see what they are to really, really like get a good gauge and handle on what Liverpool will be this season. And I'm going to be honest, they didn't look comfortable. Chelsea looked like they could have really done some things to win this game. I think what some of the issue was, you guys didn't create enough clear-cut chances to win the game, and that was ultimately what I think prevented you guys from winning. You had chances, but Liverpool had more clear-cut chances, and they took those chances. Robert Sanchez, you have to find a new number one goalkeeper. I know you don't believe in him. I know you don't believe in him, but y'all need to. He's tweaking.
Correct.
That boy's tweaking.
Because of the second
Caldwell-
goal?
No, the mistakes that he was making prior to that, he kicked the ball off of the striker in the first like 5-10 minutes.
Gakpo.
Like stuff like that.
I told you.
Yeah, he's a good goalkeeper, like shot stopping, but everything else, I don't trust him. And Caldwell, he panicked. It is what it is. He just had, but that's that comes with young players trying to get into their form and experience. These things will get fixed over time. So it is what it is. Great performance for you guys. I was very I'm not gonna lie, I was like, wow, Chelsea, they look really good today. So hopefully it continues and we'll see how things go. But Francis, since you had stats, I have stats too. You love to talk about discipline. That's your favorite narrative to drive about my club. And you know what's so funny?
I know what you're going to say.
No. I let you talk about your stats. Let me talk about mine. I want to talk about my stats. Discipline, right? In the past 2 years, Chelsea have the most yellow cards, more than any club in all of the Premier League in the past 2 years. And you guys are the only team this year to have players suspended from an accumulation of yellow cards.
Yes.
So Francis,
guess what?
Does that mean that you guys have a core disciplinary issue within your club?
Hey, let me ask you guys
Look
a
at his
question.
face. Look at his face.
Let me ask you guys a question. Would you rather have more red cards or yellow cards?
That's not the question that I asked you. Answer the question that I asked you.
First off, listen, there are certain times where just yellow cards are there. First off, hold on. I'm going to take it back to the Bournemouth game where Anthony Taylor...
No, my boy. You are doing a lot.
You talk about Chelsea.
I asked you a yes or no question. I want a yes or a no.
Ask me the question again.
Do you have a
in the past 2 years? Hold on, no, Kenny, hold on. In the past 2 years, you have had the most yellow cards accumulated in the entirety of the Premier League. You are the first team this year to have players suspended from an accumulation of yellow cards. Does that mean that Chelsea have a disciplinary issue that runs through the core and the foundation of your club?
Slightly.
That is a yes or no question.
Slightly.
My boy, you got stats, I got stats
too. You don't have as many red cards as you people.
That you're talking about. Don't talk about my club. I'm asking you about your club. Don't talk to me about my club. That's a yes or no question.
And plus, let's be real. Let's also be real. There were 14 yellow cards given in that Chelsea Bournemouth game that were so unnecessary for both teams. So
what's the phrase that you guys like to, just don't do it. Just don't do it. Don't do whatever will get you a card. Don't do it. Since it's as simple as that. Just don't do it.
I hope I hope you call your Arsenal people and tell them the exact same thing. That's it.
Arteta's
Let's move
watching the
on.
podcast. He already knows. No more red cards. He knows.
We'll see next game.
If they get one, that's gonna be hilarious. But let's
Oh,
move
I
on.
hope let's move on. That's all. That's all.
But yeah, that was the weekend roundup. Let's give a preview of what's to come in the coming week.
We
What do
play.
we got, boys?
We play at the same time as Chelsea, and then you guys
Okay.
play Liverpool at prime time, but at 12:30 because of the daylight savings. I believe we play at 10. Francis.
Let me.
Is this on
look.
Sunday?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sunday.
It's on Sunday. Yeah. Oh, we're all playing Sunday. Okay. Cool.
We play Fenerbahce this week as well. In Europa.
Against Jose Mourinho.
So, yeah, the special one.
The special one. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, so tough week. It's West Ham. I believe we are away. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I will say 3-1 Manchester United.
I
Away at
actually,
West Ham.
Yeah.
Kenny, I have a question about West Ham United specifically for you. Over the course of the past 2 years, you've talked about they get a new coach, they'll look better, they have whatever, and they should be doing better than what they're doing, right? And my response to you has always been, there are certain clubs that have a ceiling that they're never going to get past. They're never going to be like the traditional Big Six. They're not going to win Champions League. They're not going to win the Prem. Like, if they do win the Prem, it's going to be an anomaly. It's going to be something that's like, oh, wow, that shouldn't have happened, but how did it happen kind of thing, right? It may be early days, but I've always said I don't see why they would get rid of David Moyes, because he sets them up in a way where they're going to work hard, they're going to defend, they're going to make sure that they don't concede. There are going to be games where they do concede because there is a quality gap. But now they have this new coach that's supposed to make them play more progressive, be more attacking, do this, do that. And right now, looks like they're worse off than what they were when they had Moyes. What are your thoughts?
We have to give him time, EJ. I hear you.
No.
Though.
I said it's early days. But
Yeah.
right now it's looking really because they're losing badly. It's not if they were losing games like 1-0 and it's close game, good performance. Like I understand, give the manager time, et cetera, et cetera. But they're losing bad. They're losing badly, like really.
Yeah,
badly.
yeah. I don't know what's going on over there. Don't care. But I still think they'll be better off. My main thing with Moyes is it was just games, and I always remember that Liverpool game. I believe it was I want to say maybe FA Cup, something like that, where it was just like
I think it was
Liverpool.
the Arsenal game. We beat them 6-0. I think you were saying after that game.
There was another game against Liverpool. It was either Carabao or FA Cup. It was just like
5-1.
yeah, something like that. Liverpool could have scored 10 if they really wanted to. It was that bad. I was like, once you start having those types of games, you need a change. And I'm not saying Dave Moyes is a bad coach, but I just thought like he lost that like locker room kind of just play with some pride. I think we'll see what comes of it, but I think this is just like a transitional period. Players are probably frustrated. You can see Kudus. That's not even his character, getting that red like that.
The African.
Come to Man United, my boy. So we have he slapped two people. But yeah, to your question though, I don't know what's going on, but I still think they're a team that has enough talent to be dangerous. You know what I mean? Like they could win those like they could beat a top 6 team and you wouldn't be too surprised because they have enough talent. You know what I mean? But we'll see. Because they were my dark horse for this season, and yeah, it's not looking good.
At all.
Fair.
Go ahead, Francis. What
United. You guys are home, right? Oh no, wait, I forgot.
Away.
It's away.
Away. 2-0, Manchester United.
You love us. Thank you.
No, I'm saying you guys have to win these games. Otherwise, your upcoming games after this. But it's fine.
I'm gonna go with a 1-0 win for United. I'm gonna go 1-0 because typically you guys struggle with the scoring side of things, but without Kudus, he's gonna be out for a while. And how bad how bad West Ham have been looking. I think you guys will find a way to get a win, but I don't think it's going to be a big win, if that makes sense. Away from home, all that, Up next, Chelsea.
Yep.
Versus Newcastle.
Chelsea, yep. We have Newcastle at home. Because we're home and just because of how we're playing, barring this previous result here where we lost, I think we're going to be able to bounce back. I'm going to go 2-1 to Chelsea.
Yeah, I had the same. I think you guys will get it done. Yeah, I'll go 2-1.
I'm going 3-2 Newcastle. The only reason why, and you guys,
This
no,
is
hear me out.
episode 9.
No, you lost this past week. You lost. Regardless how you played, you lost. The reason why I'm saying the result that I'm saying, Newcastle, they are going to be coming into this game like a bat out of hell because they lost this past week against Brighton at home, and Isak is finally back from injury, and they played well. This is more about what I think Newcastle is going to do than what I think you guys are going to do. Because I think, like I said, Newcastle played well. They just didn't score. Isak is back, and they haven't been winning over these past couple of games. I think they're going to come out very strong, and they're going to get at you guys. And I think if they score first, it's going to be a high-scoring game. It's going to be an open game.
I have nothing to say.
Yeah, because I'm looking at it now. They lost to Brighton. They tied with Everton. And they tied with City. And they lost to Fulham before that. I think they're going to come out very strong. Because they need the result. They need it. That's the perspective I'm coming from. But yeah, Arsenal, we got Liverpool. Sunday at 12:30.
You're home?
Yeah, we are home. Like I said, I'm not 100% sold on Liverpool just because, like, they haven't played anybody yet. Alisson's not in goal. It looks like Diogo Jota is going to be out. It depends on what's happening, but he came off before halftime in the last game, and that's usually not a good sign. So they're hurt, we're hurt, we're at home. I think we should be able to pull off like a 2-0 win. So that's what I'm going with. Because we've been able to beat them at the Emirates these past few years, so I think we'll get a 2-0 win.
I'm going to go 2-2 draw.
I'm going with a 2-1 Liverpool. I think they come in. I think the midfield is going to be the determining factor. I just see them just taking control of the game there, and then and that's going to be the fact. Saka's going to come back, and I think he gets the goal or assist. But I think the midfield's going to be
You
the
think,
key
or that's
factor
what you
here.
want for fantasy?
You know, either one works. He sat out last week, so needs to make up. But yeah, I think the midfield is going to be the determinant factor, and Liverpool will edge out a win, 2-1.
Their midfield wasn't that good this past game. You think it's going to be better against Arsenal?
Yeah.
Your
No,
midfield is
no, Oda. You said it
your
best.
midfield is shot already.
Yeah,
No, but
I don't not shot, but
Martinelli will be back. the The issue with us is Trossard got moved out of the midfield. When Martinelli comes back, Trossard will go back to 10. That was, for me, that's what the issue was. And I think that will make a difference. But so you said 2-1, and Francis, you said 2-2?
Yo,
Okay.
no Saliba too. So
Yeah,
oh,
but for me, I'm gonna be so real with you. I've always complained about having quality depth. We can put Ben White at center back next to Gabriel and put Jurriën Timber on the right. I Saliba's like a really 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 good defender, but I don't think the drop off is gonna be like how it was when Saliba was out. We had to put Holding in. Remember? So granted,
yeah, I
again, he's
remember.
not there, but yeah, granted, he's not there, but I don't think the drop off is going to be a dangerous drop off. But this is why we signed these players, and this is why our coach is our coach. He has to find a way to coach through this kind of situation. So that's how I'm looking at it. If this was 2-3 years ago, we have to put in like Shakhtar Mustafi or or Papa Stopoulos or whatever the hell his name was. I'd be very, very worried. But we can just slot Ben White, Timber on the right, and just go about our business. So, hopefully.
You said 2-0.
Yeah, I said 2-0. We're at home.
Shall
That's
see.
that's where the confidence comes from. But yeah, big game against Shakhtar, Champions League on Tuesday. Hopefully we get the result. Saliba will be playing that game because he won't be playing on Sunday. So hopefully he does what he has to do. But yeah, this concludes another week with the Banter 3 FC podcast. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Again, please know we are on YouTube. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, share our content. We definitely do appreciate you guys for showing us love and following us. Long may it continue. And we are on YouTube again.
Yeah.
Banter 3 FC. Show us love. Y'all be safe.
Get well soon, Danny Welbeck.
yes.